Music of Ukraine. Music is a major part of Ukrainian culture with a long history and many influences. From traditional folk music to classical and modern rock, Ukraine has produced several internationally recognized musicians including Kirill Khervits, Oki and Elzy and Ruslana. Elements from traditional Ukrainian folk music made their way into Western music and even into modern jazz. Ukrainian music sometimes presents a perplexing mix of exotic melismatic singing with choral harmony. The most striking general characteristic of authentic ethnic Ukrainian folk music is the wide use of minor modes or keys, which incorporate augmented second intervals. During the Baroque period, music had a place of considerable importance in the curriculum of the Kyiv Mohyla Academy. Much of the nobility was well versed in music with many Ukrainian Cossack leaders such as Mazepa, Kali, Alavati, Serko, being accomplished players of the kabza, bandura or torban. Mykola Lysenko is widely considered to be the father of Ukrainian classical music. The first dedicated musical academy was set up in Alukhiv in 1738 and students were taught to sing and play violin and bandura from manuscripts. As a result, many of the earliest composers and performers within the Russian Empire were ethnically Ukrainian, having been born or educated in Alukhiv or having been closely associated with this music school. Ukrainian classical music differs considerably depending on whether the composer was of Ukrainian ethnicity living in Ukraine, a composer of non-Ukrainian ethnicity who was a citizen of Ukraine, or part of the Ukrainian diaspora. Since the mid-1960s, Western-influenced pop music has been growing in popularity in Ukraine. Folk singer and harmonium player Mariana Sadovska is prominent. Ukrainian pop and folk music arose with the international popularity of groups and performers like Votli Vidopliazova, Dak Daughters, Dak Areka, Ivan Dornanoki and Elzy. Media of Ukraine. The Ukrainian legal framework on media freedom is deemed among the most progressive in Eastern Europe, although implementation has been uneven. The Constitution and laws provide for freedom of speech and press. However, the government does not always respect these rights in practice. Better source needed. The main regulatory authority for the broadcast media is the National Television and Radio Broadcasting Council of Ukraine, NTRVCU, tasked with licensing media outlets and ensure their compliance with the law. Kyiv dominates the media sector in Ukraine. National newspapers Den, Zerkalo Tishnia, tabloids, such as the Ukrainian Week or Focus, and television and radio are largely based there. Citation needed. Although Lviv is also a significant national media center. The National News Agency of Ukraine, Ukrinform, was founded here in 1918. The Ukrainian publishing sector, including books, directories and databases, journals, magazines and business media, newspapers and news agencies, has a combined turnover. Clarification needed. Sonoma publishes Ukrainian editions of such magazines as Esquire, Harper's Bazaar and National Geographic magazine. Citation needed. BBC Ukrainian started its broadcasts in 1992. As of 2022, 75% of the population use the internet, and social media is widely used by government and people.